Collins, look at him.
Who?
Top pagan, bruv. All
Who
the
you
best
talk-
people come from
Who are you
94,
talking to?
fam. All the best people come from 94, you idiot. How can you wear that top and be proud?
Oh yeah, 9-4,
Sorry.
baby.
How are you beefing over years, you know? I didn't ask to be born.
Man's beefing over 2 months.
Legit. It could have been anyone.
That's funny.
Fam, you can go back in time innit, and just tell your mom, listen,
Calm.
Just do it
Hold it
quickly.
for an extra 2 months. That's mad. That's mad.
you born in December, fam.
That's jokes.
Yeah. It don't work that way. Unless, what's that? Premature. That's what they're called. But premature by 2 months, that's a madness. I don't know if you
Oh,
can
don't
fight
worry,
that
man. They'll
one.
put you in the incubator.
I knew you was gonna say that. Oh gosh. All right, Mary Chapel podcast episode 74. We live. Welcome to episode 74. Mandem, introduce yourself.
Yep. Big 2L in the building. Coastal Newsy, we here. Another week, another pod. Let's get to podding. I'm ready to pod today. I feel like I'm in the podding mood. I don't know if this is new mic, but I'm ready to pod.
New mic, new me. Who did?
New mic, new me. Yes, sir.
E-Man.
As you can see from the background, representing Harlem, feel me, it's not Bizza. That's not my name. My name is E-Man G45. It's not my name. My name is Emmanuel, but it's E-Man G45. So, yeah.
There's the alias and then there's the government name. I hear that. He gave it to them. He gave both of them. So yeah, 2 dems in the building. So episode 74. Now I'm excited for this one. I guess, E-Man, have you seen this film?
Nope.
Colin wants to discuss it. I actually saw it over the weekend as well. It's called Malcolm and Marie, and it's on Netflix. The film is bad. Like,
I thought so.
It's really bad. It's just 2 people screaming at each other for 90 minutes. And it's crazy because I like both people in the film. I think Zendaya's a talented actress and she's only getting better. And I think doing roles like this will help her to get better. And John David Washington, he's solidified. He's probably one of the most exciting actors in Hollywood at the moment. But it was not good. It was just 2 people shouting at each other, and they're just toxic. They need to both see a therapist.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I understood it by the trailer because it's like the first thing that happens is like it's black and white. It's supposed to be somewhat romantic. Valentine's Day is around the corner, and you're supposed to be watching it with somebody. So I'm like, bro, I'm not here for that. I'm not watching it. Listen, that's 2 hours and 15 minutes of my time that I cannot get back. So I didn't watch it. Now look, you wasted 2 of your hours and 15 minutes of your time. You can't get that back.
It wasn't 2 hours. I don't think I could watch it. I don't think I could have sat through if it had been 2 hours. It was an hour. Either way, do you know what? You're right. I've lost time here. Collins is being quiet as well. He's acting like he ain't seen it. It was up on his Instagram story.
I put that question just to see what people's opinion was on who was the more toxic at the 2. Again, yeah, to echo Dami's sentiment, it wasn't a good film. But I still found it entertaining. Like I liked seeing them. I liked seeing them get into their bags. Like my favorite bit was when the review came out and John Washington's just going on an absolute
absolute rant,
just monologue of just how like things are working in Hollywood. Like it was very self-aware. That was the best bit in the movie, I feel. But yeah, I agree that they're good actors, just in a bad movie. Really, it would have been more interesting to see them do more things and kind of take it there. But obviously, they went for like the artsy kind of noir kind of,
That film should not have been black and white. It didn't warrant it, if that makes sense. Like it was black and white for no reason. It didn't. That film being black and white didn't add to the film. I think of films that have been black and white, like Sin City, being black and white, and it actually adding to the film and actually giving it that noir sort of feel, or in Kill Bill, where it goes black and white when she's fighting. That actually adds to the film, actually makes it more enjoyable. This film had no business being black and white.
So who do you think is the worst person in the movie then at the 2?
It's Malcolm. It's not even a question for me. That boy is the devil, man.
What makes you say that?
You know, when he's in the bathtub,
He was in his
bathtub,
bag.
he was gross.
He was in his bag.
Are you man saying
he turned into the devil?
Are you man saying Malcolm because you just want to be PC, or you're saying Malcolm because you?
Nah, he was just the worst. Like, she's got her issues, but I understand why she has her issues in the sense that, you know, her character was a drug addict before, and she's a recovering drug addict, so I feel like her toxicity makes sense, and it was never coming from a place of I don't know. It wasn't from a negative place, if that makes sense. He just wanted to hurt her. Like, when he said he was talking to his girl and he was saying, "Yo, I fucked this bitch silly. I didn't even know why I did it. I just did it
In the hot bathtub." I said, "This man wants to die today. This man wants to die."
I don't know why he's done that. He had no business doing that. Coming from that angle, it was disgusting, man. Yeah.
But I feel like even like the thing is though, he got to that point only because she triggered him. So do you remember the scene right before where he was in the field just moving mad, like he was just trying to fight the grass?
Girls will have me doing that, you know. Do you know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck. The real issue is, I think some people do this and they just pick a fight, or he could tell she was off. And you know, when you're asking a girl like, "What's wrong?" Like, tell me what's wrong, and they're like, "No, it's nothing. It's nothing."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they started the fight, because I would have left. A certain man would just be like, "Right, well, she said nothing's wrong." Next thing you know, she's screaming the house down. So I get it. On a night when he should have been celebrating, she was just bringing the mood down. But some of the jabs that he took, there's no need.
Some mad low blows in there, boy.
For real, dog.
But the bit where she pulled up with the knife and she was giving it like the well, she was doing the audition. But before that, I was thinking to myself, "Rah, she's actually crazy." But obviously, she was just trying to show off her auditioning skills. And I was thinking, nah, Zendaya can actually act. Like, at that point, I thought the movie was just gonna flip on his head. She's gonna chef him, and that would have been it. Do you know what I mean? But she was just like, "Yeah, that's how I would have done my audition." I said, "Nah, she's just as crazy."
Yeah, I mean, I think what would have made the film better is if they'd had the opportunity to do more stuff outside. So it was meant to be
agree.
like, I don't want to say, I don't ever like comparing stuff, but it was meant to be the black version of the film Marriage Story, which has Kylo Ren and Black Widow. I forget their real names. Scarlett Johansson and fucking Adam Driver. It was meant to be the black version of that, but they just couldn't. They couldn't do a lot because the film was made in the pandemic, so that's why it's set in one place. But I think the enjoyment, or it would have been a better watch had it been filmed in various places. But again, like you said, I think there's something entertaining about it, because obviously it wasn't that bad that we didn't turn off the TV and carry on watching it. And they both did give great performances. It was captivating enough to carry on watching.
Mm-hmm. I'll definitely agree. Do you think, this is a question to you actually, E-Man, do you think, because I'm sure you've probably seen any of John David's other acting performances, do you think, because obviously people kind of say, "Oh yeah, that's Denzel's son," do you think that kind of puts a chip on his shoulder in order to kind of like be better, or even just kind of distinguish yourself away? Because he doesn't do roles like Denzel does he? He's not done like a Training Day or what's the other movie he done? The Equalizer. What do you think?
He started off by calling himself John David because he wanted to move away from the Washington.
Yeah.
But now everybody knows. I think he got over it because at some point he decided to say, "You know what? I am his son. I am gonna be an actor, but at the end of the day, I'm writing my own path. Even though I am my dad's son, I'm writing my own path," and that's how he feels. So,
and he's a good actor in his own right as well. Truth be told,
yeah, I've actually never compared him to his dad personally. I first saw him on a TV show that it stars and it's produced by The Rock called Ballers.
Okay, I've heard of
that. Yeah, and I didn't know he was. I didn't know who his dad was. So I think he's done well to get away from that, actually. And he's very conscious of it. So I think when he was first getting into Hollywood, he would actually not tell people, and he'd try and distance himself as much as possible from it. But people get to find out these things. You can't hide that your dad's one of the most famous actors of all time. So I think for him, it's the path he's chosen to go down, which has really helped separate the two. Because you're right, they haven't done similar roles. I don't think. One thing I will say though is that they do both bring the same level of energy. When he was
swearing, I could hear it. Yeah, I knew it, David. I knew you were gonna say that. You could hear it when you were saying fuck. I was like, I could hear the Denzel training day voice come out there. I was
doing the monologue about the white lady, and that's when I was like, "Yo, is your dad in the room?" That's how it was.
This is Denzel's son for real. Yeah, I enjoyed that bit the most.
Yeah,
I was cracking up.
Yeah, no, I think he's done well to escape from that, because that would be a chip on your shoulder for sure, and that would be very jarring. So I think he has done well to get away from that.
What do you think?
Chet Hanks did a really good job as well. So
is Chet Hanks trying to act? Hey, listen. Every day Chet Hanks' life as an actor is a performance. I hear that.
He's a special human
being. He is for real, dog.
I think at the end of the day, individuals, they just need to differentiate themselves from their ascendants, of course, their fathers. So like John David Washington. I mean, he's gonna be a great actor in his own right, doing his own thing. Of course, people are gonna say Denzel Washington, yeah, is your father, but no one's really. I think people know that that's his father, but they're not really thinking about it too much until, of course, you hear you pick up certain traits that the son has had from his dad. So I think it's very much exciting to see.
It's an interesting thing to have to live with, and how do you navigate it? You know what I mean? In the sense of it's not something that we'll ever have to experience. We're not in the same field, or we don't do the same jobs as our dad. But like actually, not even just being famous and already being famous and going into a different lane. I mean, say your dad is a famous singer, and then you go and do acting. Like, that's different. You're actually going into a field that your dad's in. All right, your dad's already in that field, and then he's one of the best to ever do it in that field. That's a unprecedented amount of pressure. You know what I mean?
You can even flip it for Zendaya, whereby she kind of blew up off of Disney, I'm going to say.
Yeah, you're right.
And, having to shed off that, the stigmatism that comes
with
being a Disney kid.
To shed off as well.
Not many people can do it very easily. So she deserves credit where credit is due, because she's done Euphoria, which is completely different from, the Disney stuff as well as the Spider-Man stuff. And now she's showing she has range in it. So I think it's going to be it's a good thing to have. Okay, the movie wasn't great, but it's a good thing to have on her, like,
CV. I agree. You know what? Again, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I mean, I think it's a 4 out of 10, but you've done well in the sense that I didn't turn the TV off. I think both people did give a good performance. I just think in certain areas the film was lacking. I think they should have. It might be more of a situation where it's the director's fault, and they should have had more quiet moments where they were just chatting. The film was just an hour of screaming. I don't think I've never seen a film where the volume just goes like this. That was literally it. So I think they should have had more quiet moments. But again, I think it's great for both of them. I think John David Washington is coming off of a good period. However you feel about Tenet, you've got a film with Christopher Nolan on your CV. You've got this film as well, which I don't think is a bad thing to say. So yeah, I'm excited for both of them. Obviously, Zendaya is still in the Spider-Man films, and I want more stories like this with Black people as well. It was still quite interesting to see.
Yeah, man, for sure. Definitely a good watch. Well, I say a good watch, an interesting watch. let me change that.
After speaking about this, maybe we liked it. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not watching it ever again.
Oh no, definitely not.
So definitely one and done.
What's next on the list? So this, I was actually thinking about this just by watching WandaVision. I think it's like to ask you guys, what era of human living would you live in besides the one you live in now? If you have to pick one, let's just say like a decade or or like
That's a great
a time
question.
era? Because obviously it's
I'm
kind of sticky for
gonna,
us. It's a bit sticky for us after a certain point. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's what I'm gonna say. I was gonna say I'm gonna remove the color of our skin from the conversation, and I'm just
No,
gonna
no,
be a
no,
blank
no.
canvas.
That has to be there.
Now you can't.
No,
Listen,
because we have
then
to
I'm
give
not
an
going back.
honest.
I'm
No, we
never
have to
going
be
back.
honest,
I'm
bro.
never going back.
You say so? You're saying you're coming back as a white man?
I'm not. I'm going back as a blank canvas. They
See,
don't see color.
Collins.
Yo.
This is what happens when people are born in '95.
If the question is posed to me, I'm not going back. There's no way I'm going back at all. I already know what it's built like. I've heard the stories. I'm not. I don't. It's not a question I need answered. I'm fine where I am. You trying to go back? Nah. You're gonna go back to the 50s.
Why am I going back to the 50s? What's in the 50s?
I'm asking. What era would you pick then?
Now, first I'll start with you, innit? Because you want to go back.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know what? There's some. I quite like the idea of the 90s, early 2000s, but I guess we lived through that. So I'm gonna say the 90s, and I quite like the 80s, just for the nostalgia of it all. After that, I have not. I don't need to go back any further.
After that, you
done.
can just put a, a
What
ruler
am I
through
going
the
back to
rest.
the 60s for?
Yeah, now the 80s, I'd pick the 80s purely because I would like to be a teenager through the 90s. Because some of the stuff that happened in the 90s was so like revolutionary for like.
Oh,
just
sorry. Is it at this
life.
age, or we're just going back in time?
Let's say if you were to let's say you were to be born in that decade. Which decade would you be born in?
Oh, I thought actually live it because I really like the idea of the 80s. The 80s has so much great stuff. Like
100%.
Michael was
music
popping
was
off.
slapping.
Music was insane. I mean, less said about the fashion, the better. But we move. But the cinema in general, like everything that we like, pretty much now has more or less been inspired by it. There's so many great films that came out in the 80s, and like a lot of the ideas that we enjoy now came from then. And even just like that's why I think things like Stranger Things, which is set in the 80s, is so enjoyable because it was a really enjoyable period. Yeah, I just can't go back any further because I ain't trying to die.
Yeah, no, 80s for me because like just being able to be a teenager through the 90s and listening to like old school hip hop or like the beginnings of like West Coast hip hop, the beginnings of like the boom bap in the 90s, it would be like it'd just be lit. Do you know what I mean? Because that's like the golden era, so to speak. But yeah, it was just something I was thinking about because obviously One Division, they got their man going through the.
Well, they've been going back in time, but they can do that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is interesting to see.
E-Man, what's yours?
I wouldn't change anything.
You'd still be born in 94?
94. Because
I respect it.
If you really think about it, we are the last generation to experience everything. Like, we're the last generation to go play out. And then we're the same generation to go and see computer games, go into online. Do you know what I'm saying? We're the first generation. We're the generation to see the internet. Do you know what I'm saying? We're the generation to see a lot of things shift from the old era to now. Because anybody who was born, let's say from, I want to say the 1960s up until, so people were born from the 1960s up until the 1980s. Nothing had really changed that much. Nothing had changed like on a massive scale. I mean, young people are always going to be young, but in terms of the technology and advancements, from 90s up until now, everything's just shifted. Like, life is no longer the same. I mean, people have gone from the pager to your mobile phone. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, maybe we may have missed the pager. I remember holding one, but other than that, I think I'll just keep it till 94.
Okay, fair enough.
Because even in the UK as well, even in the UK, we went from, I don't know what it was. It was just like pop rock. We went pop rock to just Dizzy Rascal. Then from Dizzy Rascal, we went to Funky House. Then from Funky House, we went back to grime. Now we're on hip hop. Now we're on a new sort of scale of music, but everyone's living. So I would say now, and even like the boom bap era, it's coming back. So, and if you want to go back and listen to it, you can. It's all on the internet. It's all there.
It's all there for you.
Yeah. I think it's one thing looking back though, but it's another thing living it. Do you know what I mean? Like being immersed and saying, imagine being like, oh, there's this new rapper called Nas putting out some project. I wonder what it's going to be like. And it comes out and everyone's like, holy shit, this is like the, you know,
the holy
Bible of rap. Do you know what I mean?
So
this is for piracy as well.
Yeah,
this is for piracy, like seeing people selling CDs that are not from the official vendor. Like, we've seen the whole lot. Mad. So if anybody is born in 2000, like for example, my sister, she's born in the early 2000s. She's not really going to know much.
Yeah.
She's just going to know like, oh yeah, I grew up. And then when I was 5, I kind of remember all of it. Whereas we just lived through that period. So.
It's true. It's interesting. It's an interesting question. It was something I was thinking like, just if you could ever just like change your reality and just see things from a different lens. Because I'm watching a show called Hip Hop Revolution, Hip Hop Evolution even, and they're just talking through the different eras of hip hop, and like it started in the 80s, then they went through obviously now the 90s, and slowly got back to get to the 2000s. And it just made me think like, nah, all of these different rap groups that were born in these time periods have that the legacy is still felt. Like you see obviously the beginning of Cash Money, and obviously Cash Money is like Young Money now. Do you know what I mean? And back then they had like the Hot Boys. They had, you know, they were inspired by Master P and what they were doing as well. So it's just mad to see how some things that exist now were born during like these different eras, and we didn't actually even realize.
I guess it would be interesting to see their inception and be like, wow, how has this happened? Or how did, you know, something that started off as just an idea become, you know, one of the biggest things in the world? That Universal gave not Young Money, Cash Money 30 million. That was unprecedented at the time. But obviously what they'd managed to achieve was far beyond anything they thought it could have happened. Even if you want to go back further, like just the idea of how much success NWA had, and then, you know, all the members as well went on to have, it's insane.
Yeah. I'd definitely recommend the watch. I've learned so much from watching it. I've just been listening to a whole bunch of old stuff recently, and it's really like put a battery in my back just to do my due diligence and just listen to some old shit. But yeah,
it's just important that we know as much as we can about our genre.
For sure.
Actually taking it in. But yeah, no, I think for me, I'm not trying to go back past the 80s. After that, it gets a bit sticky.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
it depends. Like if we want to change skin color, stuff like that, then it depends what time you want to go back to.
I don't know. I don't really want to go back that far as well, because my mind boggles to think even just how simple it was back then. Like in terms of, if you go back to actually the 50s, I think they just started having TVs and stuff like that. Like I think you'd be really bored, or you'd just find ways to keep yourself entertained. But even TV, I think, stopped after like 9 o'clock. Like the screen just went blank after that. It's boring.
But you wouldn't know any better though. That's it is what it is, isn't it? That's all you know. But yeah, man,
it's unbelievable. That is all you know.
The era that we lived in, TV was on up until a certain time. Well, actually, wasn't. There was no time at all. It was on.
Well, they had 5 channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then we went to Sky, and then once you went to Sky, you had an array of channels.
Sky really changed the game.
They went on at any time. So
it was a never-ending story.
Nothing more to be said there, but the imagination will be filled.
For real.
Sky really changed the game, man. They don't get enough credit. Netflix before Netflix. Even when they had Sky Movies. Well, they still have Sky Movies, but I remember that being like, oh, sometimes you're like, I want to see that film, but I'll wait for it to come in Sky Movies. I ain't going to pay to see it.
We'll talk. You go to your brethren's house, like, yo, you've got Sky Movies? Yeah. Oh, let's watch the new Pixar movie.
I remember people who used to have Sky Sports were like viewed as kings.
Oh, that's a fact.
Because that subscription weren't cheap, man.
That's a fact. I only had that stuff recently. I remember back in the day when I was growing up, and I always used to go get a haircut at a certain time because I knew my barbers had like the dodgy box, and we'd always watch Man United on the TV on net all the time. Jeez, that shit was rare when it first came out. Anyway, it was so rare.
It was unbelievable, yeah. And people just couldn't afford to have it because it was quite expensive. Even people didn't necessarily have the full package because I remember we didn't have Disney Channel and that for a while, and then we get it and it's life changing, man.
Changes your
that
life.
6 month free life.
Even yo, are you guys silly? Like we had trouble. We had trouble. And then you're saying that you want to grow up in the 80s.
No, I'm not saying I don't want to grow up in the 80s. I'm just saying if you had to pick one, do you know what I mean?
We even had Michael Jordan in this era, bro. What are you talking about?
No, we didn't. No, that's cap. Listen, that's cap. If you're born in 1980, yeah, you'd have seen it with your own two eyes. Whereas we're watching a documentary on it 20 years later.
No, I saw him on TV. Don't worry.
That don't count. We're not Jordan era. We're LeBron era. We're not even. We're barely Kobe.
I saw LeBron in Cleveland. I saw Michael. Well, of course, they use apart. But I saw Michael Jordan in the Wizards. I saw the game, bro. So I've seen
Wizards. Come on, man.
This guy's clearly the Wizards.
Nah, he was still playing. He was still the guy.
That don't count, man. That don't count at all.
I don't
Listen,
think
there was we had tapes.
Told you he weren't the guy.
Had tapes. Then we went to Blu-ray. Then we went to Netflix. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
Revolutionary technology right there.
Cassette tapes for the devil, man. Them things used to get wound up so badly, and you have to be like an idiot trying to fix it. My least favorite bit of technology.
Real talk, man.
I'm gonna tell you what changed the game for free as well. DVD. Huh?
Do you mind if you use floppy disks?
Not really. They were there, but we didn't. We didn't actively.
I don't know how they did anything. You know, like actually looking at the design of the floppy disk, I don't know how it did anything.
It's craziness, honestly.
Fam, I used to
how many MBs was
draw
it?
Stuff on Paint,
maybe like 8,
and then save it, and then that's it.
Boom,
I had 64
done.
kilobytes. That's it.
Even playing PS2, you'll save two game saves and you're done. 8 MB on the stick.
8 MB. And people had to delete their memory card often.
Yeah. Fam,
I can't believe the PS.
I remember that.
I can't believe the PS2 didn't have in-game saving. Like, to me now, that's just wild.
It doesn't even, like, it does it automatically now. You don't even think about it. I remember my boy from uni said to me, like, they used to play San Andreas and they didn't have a memory stick, so they had to just leave the PlayStation on just to play.
Damn.
That is such a mad life.
How goes like that?
Yo.
When you play manager mode on FIFA, you couldn't save it. So, boy, you just you hoped and prayed.
Just do that season in a day, because
that's it. That's it.
You're not enjoying for after that, boy. You got to start again.
Otherwise, it's an L. No, man. Technology and just life has just come so far.
Yeah, we don't even realize.
But even like the conversation of just having to go and play out, we can have that conversation with people who are older than us. We say, yeah, we used to go play out with our bicycles and then go see whatever. They may say that, oh, we went to the arcade and did this. We might just say we went to each other's house and played PlayStation. At the end of the day, we had the opportunity to go and play out and just be us and be free. Now, for the kids that are here, it's a little bit different.
Are they not playing out, do you think? Well, I don't know what their situation is, but are they just... They must be going out to do something. They can't stay on Fortnite forever.
If you're not on a bike, then you're playing football. If you're not playing football, you're on Fortnite. The way I see it. I don't have kids, but that's the way I see it.
Fair enough, man. But I guess at the end of the day, like, it's different tastes, isn't it? They might not even see the benefit of going outside, whereby that was kind of all we had. Do you know what I mean? Or one or two of us might have a PS2 or a PS1, but nowadays, obviously, an iPad is like gold to them. Do you know what I mean? Fortnite is like gold to them. They don't necessarily have to go outside to do A, B, and C. But you know, I do know what you mean. We were there for a key transition, is what I think what Iman is trying to say. But
yeah,
I heard that though. I heard that.
That's true.
What is
what's the next topic?
Do men want or deserve Valentine's presents? I want to ask you guys. What do you guys think about this? Iman's left. He ain't involved.
Deserve? Yes. Want? I don't think so. Not really.
In the fine words of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, couldn't care less.
Couldn't care less. Yeah, it's not made for us. It's not designed for us. If you get the present on the day, great. That's lovely.
Mhm.
But I'm personally not pressed about it. Never have been. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's a nice day. But I don't think
Mhm.
it's geared towards our gender.
No,
If
definitely
there's
not.
man out there that want to get presents for it, completely understand. Um, the real champions are the people who, have managed to combine it all. The anniversary and Valentine's Day is on the same day.
And
Those are
could you
the
imagine that
kings.
it's her birthday as well? That's a W to me. like, like the guy behind me, that's a W to me.
That's a W for a fact. Yo, that's real saving right
Man
there.
spending minimum P's. Are you crazy?
And her birthday as well, yo. He hit the trifecta. That's unreal.
Fam.
But I mean, what would you even get? What do you even get on Valentine's
I
Day?
don't know. People are saying flowers, but I don't really even like have a affinity for them like the way women do. Like I don't even get why a
What
guy
man
would
them
want
getting
flowers.
flowers?
I've seen a couple man them get flowers today, and I don't. It's what it is. I ain't
It's
gonna
a,
hold
it's a
you,
no
but
from me.
you know,
That's going. I was gonna
What
say
type
that's
of
going
gift?
straight in the bin, but
man, would you want something for Valentine's Day from your significant other?
Yeah, I need a pair of Air Max ones.
Man said he wants the sneakers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She best
I
be
mean,
signing
again,
up for them raffles, B.
Yeah, she raffles. Let's not talk about
Oh
raffles.
damn.
Let's not talk about raffles, man. Because sometimes it's
she could
just
do the
it's
raffles for
stress,
you.
man.
These
She,
raffles seem impossible to win.
bruh.
Some
He's
shoes,
going through it,
listen. Some shoes, if you win, you win, isn't it? It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling because it's like you really thought you couldn't win. You enter 10 shops, and then one shop comes back and says, "Yo, success." You're like, yes. And then when there's a shoe that you really want, and then nothing happens, that's when you need another significant other just to be there to enter the raffles, so you have more of a chance to win. Feel me?
I
I
hear
hear
that.
that. The strength in
Because if you
numbers.
do 10 and she does 10, you've already doubled your numbers.
No,
That's
tell
mad.
her mum and her dad to actually enter as well. So now there's 40 times. So now I have 4 times likely the chance of actually getting successful in just one shoe.
Fair enough.
And if
So
he does win,
that's
and
me.
that's Valentine's for me, isn't it? That's all.
that'd be mad thoughtful actually now when you think about it, because just purely off the odds of actually winning it, to be fair.
But what do you get someone? I mean, I don't know. I've always viewed Valentine's Day as you don't necessarily spend that much money
So-
on it. I don't know, because there's so many. If you do that, then there's so many things to like spend on the whole year. Like if you've been together for a while, you got your anniversary, you got their birthday, then you've got Valentine's Day, then you might have to buy someone in their family a little something. I don't know. Maybe you're close to the rents as well. This shit
Listen,
will send you broke, man.
listen, go on Instagram right now. Yeah, it's literally the Super Bowl for women. Like
Yeah.
them lot are posting
Yeah.
hella pictures. It's just funny, curious to see,
Flowers,
isn't it?
cakes, cookies, like the big massive cookie, not the small one, the big massive cookie, happy V Day.
Mm.
It's like, all right.
But it's,
I guess-
it's a
Yeah,
competition.
those
They
are
want
the
to see
things you could do.
they want to see
That's a
who's
fact.
winning. Do you know
They're
what I
all
mean?
being nosy, man.
Moving like
That's
Tom
what
Brady with
it's
the 7
come to.
rings. Just
God.
Crazy.
Yeah,
What do you say, man?
Congratulations to him. No, I think that's where it is, man. That's why China created Singles Day, man. But
And
the
that's
thing
a
is, I don't
big day for
understand the
them,
concept
innit?
of Singles Day because it's like you're single and you celebrate being single, and it's just like, I mean, if you're
I don't know,
single
I
for a
mean-
long period of time, you go and celebrate one day for being single. It doesn't necessarily make sense. But they created the
In
holiday,
America, there's a big
and it's
thing
been
now.
successful.
In America,
What,
there's a
Singles
big
Day?
thing called Valentine's Day, and basically, it's more or less that. And it's women just celebrating being single and being single together. I've said, you guys are angry, man.
I said you lot are angry.
This is what the
It originated from the TV show Parks and Rec, and even when I saw it on the TV show, I said, "Listen, this is mad. How are you, man, celebrating this? Get your game up."
Crazy, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, innit? Let
It's true.
the people enjoy the day however they see fit. And I know some people don't really care for it like that, but
I think most people don't really. It's not something that, I mean, I'm big on. I think my stance on it is always, I've never understood it, and I've always thought, I don't get why you need a particular day to show someone you care about them. But I mean, it's in the calendar, it's there. So I hope, I hope everyone had a nice Valentine's Day. There's people that, need to celebrate it. Carl, have you done anything today for it?
Just the usual, man. Flowers. Grabbed something a while ago, but it wasn't on a Valentine's Day thing. It was just to get her something because I know she wanted it. And I thought to myself, should I wait for Valentine's Day? And I just thought, what's the point? Not because I don't want to be romantic or whatever, but I just thought you need this now, so let me just get it for you now. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand your sentiment as far as like, people putting such an importance on the day, but it doesn't always have to be that way inclined, because you just be waiting half a year just to give them something, and then it's like, okay, look, happy Valentine's Day. No, I could have given this to you ages ago. But that's a man's brain.
Maybe that's a mentality thing.
This word,
because there's certain things they want there's certain things that they want and they want you to do that I just don't think we'll ever understand. Like I don't really, the idea of Valentine's Day doesn't make sense. But it's celebrated still, man.
It's not for us.
It was not made for us, not at all. But it's. Do we deserve it? Yes. Do we want it? From this conversation, it sounded like a big no.
Unless it's a raffled win.
And be like, yeah, thank you. unless it's
the Air Max ones, yeah. I see pain in Iman's eyes. Damn. I hate it had to be him.
He must have been trying for them ones, man.
Didn't you get the Concords?
Air Max 1. No, Concords. When did the Concords come out? Like a couple of years back? I didn't try for it. I wasn't too fast.
I saw people going crazy over these Jordans.
I didn't have the money for it at that time, so I didn't get it. But,
yeah.
No, I was trying to get something else. And then I got something else yesterday, but it's not something I wanted. So I'm going to do a review on them and send them back because I don't really need them like that. But we'll see what the resale price is. But, scalp a couple of you niggas.
The game is the game.
For real,
the game is the game, man. The game is the game.
That's a fact.
But it's very interesting what you said, Demi. You said that we don't necessarily need one day to dedicate to someone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think one day should just be highlighted. Like I should show, if you're with someone, you should show them that you love them every day. I don't think you need one day to highlight. It shouldn't be such a big day in the calendar.
You say that for Black History Month?
I do as well. I ain't gonna hold you. I
Black
do.
History Month is every day. As Kanye said, I make Black History every day. I don't need a month.
I feel the same for it, man. I kind of get not jarred by it. I understand the meaning of doing it, but it's just annoying that it has to be a month in a year. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing happens in this.
If anything,
anyway.
it should just be when these significant Black things happen on that day should be celebrated. Do you get the same way they go, Martin Luther King Day, cool, that's fine. If they do the day when Obama became president for the first time and they want to make that a day, cool, that's fine. But to lump all those days into one month, which have nothing to do with it, what are you trying to do here? There's not White History Month Day, do you know what I mean? Them man have their St. George's Day, St. Patrick's Day, all that type of stuff. All these saints, I don't even know why they're saints.
You're so true. It's so true. And even to the point, like, even things, it's interesting you say that, because even things are now starting to not, it doesn't have the strength or the meaning that it should do. Like, I don't really feel like it's been, I think in the UK it's in November, but either way, I don't feel like it's being celebrated the way it should be, if that makes sense. Like, there's a way in which it needs to be celebrated, and I just don't feel like it's being celebrated in that way. It should be a real over-the-top celebration of so many great things, and then the month doesn't. I don't think you can make a whole month special as well, because at the end of it, it just starts to fizzle out. It's the shortest month in the year as well. Like, get out of here, man. These ones said you can have a month, and we're gonna give you the shortest month in the year.
And in the UK, it's multicultural month.
Man said multicultural months, you know.
You know what?
To be fair,
they're gonna call it Bammy month, yeah, because
I said Bammy month.
You know,
Don't let
they
me in
gave
with
us
them, man.
something, which is
After
cool.
what Priti Patel was just on smoke every day. Every time I read something about this lady, it's just another thing. This girl's a dumbass.
Well, I mean, she got employed to do a position, so I don't think she's that dumb.
Do you know what? Listen, I don't even believe in some of these politicians are that smart. Matt Hancock is not smart. I'm gonna tell you that for free.
I've been saying this for the longest, yeah, that I don't trust that guy. And people are looking every time he pops up on a TV screen. Nobody believes anything that he's saying. No one.
Nah.
And it gets to a point where it's just like, you know what? You're doing this to yourself, yeah?
That's a fact.
Get off the TV screen, get somebody else there. Because right now, no one believes you. Nobody believes you. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
All right, now back to Priti Patel, innit?
What happening? That's why I don't want to give BAME month, because some of these people aren't our allies. If that makes sense. What? Some of these people aren't our allies.
In what sense? What allies in what sense? In just they're not for black people?
You know how we're saying, we always say our people of color, but they're not necessarily, you know, we're all lumped in together, but they don't necessarily care about the things that are important to us, you know. They're not all fighting for the same causes. So I'm not going to celebrate a whole month with everyone else. These times, listen, I'm not going to be celebrating the month with everyone else, because some of these people don't care about us. Some of these people don't look at us the same as them.
Yeah,
even this whole BAME conversation, like, I don't know who thought of it, and I don't know why we're all put in one freaking group. We don't have the same fight. We don't have the same culture in some senses. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we cannot be friends and we don't have the same conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us, yes, we may have the same fight in some certain areas, but not all areas. And
it's
then
just
for them to just say, really. Bami, there you go. You're all in one group. Fight. And then if they say they're going to put this into, you know, the BAME community, it's like, well, how do you divvy it up? How do you delegate what resources are going to who? Do you know what I'm saying? Are you going to put it to the majority of the people in that BAME group? Well, then who's the majority and who's the minority? And then now you're going to have another set of beef where it's like, we are giving it to you, but we're giving it to a certain group of people. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
I hear that.
Black man, that's it. That's all I know before BAME, before BAM, before whatever it was. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's not to. I'm not for it, but I'm not against it. Do you know what I'm saying? In the sense that I understand why you're doing this, but I'm not necessarily for the concept. So I'd rather be apart from it and just say who I'm fighting for, what I'm fighting for, and how I'm going to achieve it, rather than having to include myself into something where it's like any man is game, and it doesn't necessarily fight for me as an individual. So that's how I feel about the BAME narrative. Shout out to the BAME narrative. The narrative, I just feel different. That's all.
Nah, I hear that. We went to Kent Uni, and these man during Black History Month, they used Sadiq Khan and Zayn Malik as
I remember that. That was an absolute mare. That was an absolute mare. Dear, oh dear.
I think the head of the student union, I think he had to step down.
No surprises there.
That was a mistake.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that. Like, I don't know how you'd be making that error. Zayn Malik and Sadiq Khan. Never.
Yeah, that's an L.
That made no sense.
Do you have any more topics, lads?
Yeah, no.
I think that was all I had.
Actually, you know what, Email, I don't know if you saw. So I guess this is on the idea of free speech, which we spoke about a few weeks ago. Gina Carano was kicked off of The Mandalorian for her right-wing thoughts, basically. Or not even, it was just more that she'd been chatting a lot of was online. And basically, Lucasfilm said, yeah, she's not going to be a part of The Mandalorian anymore because of the things she's tweeted. Do you think that's fair?
What exactly was she saying?
Exactly.
So she basically said that she compared being someone who's more right-wing thinking to the Jewish people in Nazi Germany. Basically, said that you'll be run out for your thoughts and stuff like that. I'll put the Instagram in the chat later, or the Instagram story she posted. But basically, that's what she said.
Damn, they put on a spliff.
For real, they weren't playing no games. They had to get out of here.
So she was saying the right wing is being silenced, like the Jews before the Holocaust. I'm hearing it, but I'm not hearing it because. Or I'm hearing. Okay, when I say I'm hearing it in the sense that I understand that the right wing media and the right wing voice is being silenced. But comparing it to something like the Jewish Holocaust is a bit extreme.
Yeah, I think that's what.
But
that's
the thing
what
is,
did
I
it
understand. Like that's how things start off. Like if a certain group is being silenced, as I said, everybody has a right to free speech. The moment you start silencing them, is the moment you can control the narrative and almost put things into your own perspective, in your own sight, in your own view, and then to the point you could actually ostracize them. So, I mean, she lost her job. You shouldn't make that comparison, but I do understand it. If she made a different comparison that made sense, fine. But that comparison, nah, that's what I'm not hearing. So, yeah, man, free speech, it's being challenged at the moment.
But I guess it's the idea that, you know, you do have the right to free speech, but you also, in doing that, you have, it depends on how people take it and how your employers take it, because they also have the right to be like, well, this is just not within our policy. Like a company like Disney, they can't afford to have someone on their books who genuinely believes and talks like that, if that makes sense. Like, for them, that's just bad business. So she had every right to tweet or to say what she said, but I think Disney also has a right to get rid of someone that says techie stuff like that.
But then again, you prove her tweet right. You prove it right. By silencing her, deleting her account, well, I don't know if it's gone to the extent of deleting her account, but firing her just on her job, because she's good at her job, but the thing is you fired her only on the basis she tweeted something that says that right-wing people are being silenced, and now she's being silenced.
Her tweet is crap.
What did she say specifically?
Her tweet is NY. You know the NY hat, the thing on it. It's cap. How she? Do you know? Does she know what the Holocaust is?
That's the thing. You cannot compare. Like, you know what? I understand where she's coming from, and like her line of thinking of saying, okay, the moment a right-wing person speaks, whenever they voice their own opinion, they have their right to talk, but it's being silenced. In the same stances and the same steps that it took to actually get to the Holocaust. I understand it, but you just don't use the Holocaust. I mean, that's going to trigger a lot of people. So,
there's no boy.
Like what Colin said back in the day, some people just need to shut the fuck up.
boy. If I'm a Disney exec and I'm seeing that tweet, I'm just laughing to myself because I'm just thinking, you know, you don't fucked up, right? Like.
Yeah, you know, and I think when she tweeted that, I think she had every idea she was on her way out. She's been talking. You can do and be what you want. I think she is quite a right-wing person anyway. But God, to say that, I thought, what are you doing here? Like there was no other way that was going to go. And I think the scariest thing is that people feel like, oh, they agree with her. I said, come on, like these are incomparable. Like what you're going through is completely different to what you know, other certain people are went through in the Holocaust. Like, it's just things you can't compare.
It's not even a comparison to be
This is
made.
how it starts. I'm telling you, that's why I said, why are people taking away people's freedom of speech? Like, a company shouldn't be able to delegate what you can say, what you cannot say. If you want to say it, say it. Yeah. If you get fired, fair enough. That's on you. Yeah. But she is saying, the right wing is being threatened, almost like the Jews were before the Holocaust. I understand it. You just don't use that example. She could have used a completely different example, and she would have got away with that.
Mm.
But the fact that she said that,
So
you have to face the consequences. That's all I can say. But I understand where she's coming from.
You know what? When I read it, I understood it. But that example she used, yes, I agree. I think it completely capitulated her argument, even if she even had one, because I don't necessarily agree with her, but I got what she was saying, similar to you, but it brought her argument apart. And I feel like employees do have a right to vet, because you have to think Disney has to maintain an image. At the end of the day, there's certain studios she might have worked for that I think it might not have been, I don't think she would have got fired from. I think maybe something like Warner Brothers. I don't think Warner Brothers would have fired her. But Disney is a family-friendly business. Star Wars is a family-friendly IP, which has to, impress a lot of people. They couldn't have someone like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not surprised that they've taken that approach to get rid of her.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Did they give her a job back?
No, she's not getting that back. That's done.
I think I saw a video today. I think she might have got that back. I'm not too sure.
No, well, I don't know. I mean, either way, the Mandalorian's in a bit of a weird place as well, because the lead guy is now going to be on the Last of Us TV show for HBO. So we'll see. We'll even see if there's a season 3.
I don't think it's needed with the way the story went.
No.
But, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So episode 74, unless we've got any other topics, obviously we're going to do the music recommendations.
Yeah, let's get our music recommendations out. My pick this week is Rice and Peas by George. He had a video on Colours. He's been putting out music for quite a while, and I've been watching him for a while. It's good rapper, UK based. But this song is like, I don't know, it's like crack, man. He got into his bag on the second half of the song. I definitely recommend anybody to watch it or listen to it if they haven't already. But yeah, George's Rice and Peas, for sure.
Yeah, George has interested me for a while. Maybe I don't know, maybe put out more music continuously. I feel like he could really be someone that, he's got a lot of talent. He can definitely blow. I put his own pattern in a few months ago or last.
Yeah, I remember.
My song is for She, Deep End. I came across it on Twitter. Someone was using it in a video, and automatically I said, yo, what is this? I need to hear this. Done my Googles. The song blew up on TikTok, as it seems like everything does nowadays. But good song. And it was actually used in a song by another rapper called Sleepy Hollow, which is where I first heard like the instrumental. But no, great song.
So, E-Man, you got one?
I'm just looking for one.
Cool.
To be honest, I would say, nah, that's not really my song that I want people to hear though. You know what, yeah? This song, I listened to it time ago, and yeah, man, I was feeling it. Then I just stopped listening to it. Then I listened to Pharrell's podcast for Drink Champs, and it just came back again. So this is Super Thug by Noriega.
Okay.
Slaps, fam. It's just it just slaps. It's lit. It is what it is. But that song's not gonna make it to the playlist. What song is gonna make it to the playlist is Liz Loves Luger. Yeah, because
That
I was
a
gonna put it
pump
on. But West Side Gun and the Money Caesar deserve the bloody flowers.
Okay.
That song's gonna make it on.
Hear that? All right. Yeah. So, main chat. Good podcast episode 74. We'll be back next week. Enjoy.
Cool. In a bit.